not black or white. It's not black or white with Tim Stevenson and Diane Blakely.
And I mean, really, I just sat there and marveled at the interview that I watched. I was like, oh my gosh, he's that guy, and that's a big deal because this world needs that guy. They need people like you.
100%.
And I told Tim when you had agreed to do, I was like, oh, I'm so excited because he's like this. I'm like, Tim, I watched him and he's doing all these great things for other people. And when you've been successful as an entrepreneur, I don't think a lot of people think that dovetails into like all of a sudden thinking, well, I want to help other people. So a lot of people make their money, buy a big boat, go fishing for the rest of their life, which I would find very like depressing. But because I think I think somebody certainly like you needs like more purpose oriented things. But I'm like, I'm hogging all the words now, so I keep trying to go back to your mortuary.
Yeah, we'll get to the mortuary. I think you covered a lot of ground. Yeah. I think when you make money to sole focus, I think it's hard to be happy. I know a lot of very wealthy people who aren't
happy.
Mm-hmm.
God, that's so sad.
I know a guy who owns 3 wellness centers in Costa Mesa.
And he's not happy?
No, the average income of his customers is over $1 million a year.
Oh.
And they're there 3 days a week.
Because they're not well, because they're letting their mind make them sick. Mm-hmm. Oh, see, that's the biggest mistake. Yeah. If you can't get out of your own way, that's really bad.
The resolve's right in front of us every single day.
What was that?
The resolve.
Oh, yes, of course.
It is. And when you put, the non-obvious, I guess the answer is like, when you put somebody else's happiness in front of yours, you inherently become way more happy. Mm-hmm. And it's like the statistics are thin, I do church with my kids every Sunday. Yeah. We haven't practiced Mormonism in, I think, 12 years or so. But so I do my own church and I have a value system. We have an acronym, Shupe, sort of spelled out, with different values and I bring philosophy and these other things, and oftentimes I bring in science, as well as sort of certain things, and S is service, so at Shupe, right? And so we talk about service, and then we try to participate in various service activities. But I bring in statistics around service and sort of happiness, nominal happiness that it can create, sort of the duration of that happiness versus buying a squishy for yourself or an ice cream cone or whatever.
Like doing the food bank. So we had Cole do food banks and stuff like that, help at the food bank.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I promise, like he was not like super excited about doing it. And I said, I promise you, once you go down and do that, the school he goes to, you have, in order to graduate from Capo High School, you have to put in service hours in the community. And I'm like, you should go to the food bank. It's really, really rewarding. Frank and I would go to the soup kitchen in Newport Beach. Who would have thought there's tons of homeless people and hungry people in Newport Beach, which is the most bizarre thing to me because there's so much wealth in Newport Beach, but there's a food kitchen.
Is that the one on Superior? Is it on Superior?
It's yes.
Yeah, I live down the street from there.
Yeah. And it's just an amazing thing because I never got, so I wanted to be the person that gives the food, but I wore bad shoes. I wore open-toed shoes because it didn't occur, this is my naivete, it didn't occur to me that they would be like, no, you can't be in the kitchen where there's hot soup and not have your toes covered. So I got the job of like organizing all of the like toiletries and the shampoo for people who are out on the street, which was the most fulfilling thing I ever did in my life. And I was I'm kind of an organized freak a little bit. And so they kept calling me, please, nobody ever organized so well before. So I'd be like, I want to feed the people. I want to see the people. But every time I'd go, they'd be like, Diane, can you please organize in the back? And I said, sure, I'll do that. So that's what I was doing. And it made me feel so good that somebody who didn't have those things was going to get them in a nice little bag. And, and maybe they did want, because a lot of the homeless people don't want to be they want to be off the grid. They don't want to be in a house, which, I don't, that problem of homelessness is like such a huge problem. And I think LA's got like a really, challenging thing because it's not just drug addict people. People think there's substance abuse. There is that component, but there's a lot of mentally ill people. And then there's people who would prefer to be housed and are not. So you have like 3 different categories, subtypes of kind of people who are on the streets in LA. But, I think, like, sometimes I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go try to help figure that out because it's massively bad. And my husband and I took a wrong turn. We were going somewhere in LA, and all of a sudden we were down the street because in Orange County, I think we're kind of in a bubble and we don't see it the same way that Los Angeles people do. Oh my gosh, we went down this one wrong street, sent us down this place where there were these dilapidated RVs. And when I say dilapidated, I'm like surprised they were even slightly standing. And there were just tons of them. It wasn't like, oh, one here, one there. There were like 42 just on, like a half a mile of all these. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is the only place that these people can find to sleep. But how do you take care of that and then get these people, help? So
You make it cool.
Huh?
You make homelessness cool. That's how you solve it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think we ostracize those people, right? And because of that, like it's hard. We can't integrate. They're sort of the have-nots, the lepers, right? And understandably, because typically there's more drug use, there's less hygiene, there's these things that I think a lot of people maybe would feel as abhorrent or don't want to be around.
Right.
I think that if you can popularize it. And you actually like bring something to it, right? Think thematic living and things like that. Actually have zones for that. You bring in normal people into those sort of places, then you can actually allow structure to take hold, and you can bring them back into the community in a way that could exist. That sounds very meta, maybe.
But that's such a cool idea, though. And I've never had anyone say what you just said. So there's some stuff.
I want to do full clothing lines for homeless people that are cool. And actually have like people because I know young people actually would they're like technically homeless from like couch to couch and stuff.
Right.
Like love to camp and be outdoor and whatnot. So I've created all sorts of different patterns with designers on homeless packs that operate as sleeping bags and operate as but that then conform to a backpack. And
I think that's a great idea. Like being able, I've somebody was showing me something the other day, and it did look like it was some sort of like tubular thing, but it rolled up so that you could just and it zipped up so nobody. I think somebody could potentially get in there, but I don't think they would. It just looked like a good. Like I thought, why isn't LA? When you figure that the budget they manage is like $14 billion, is there not some money in there that could be redirected to help that particular group of people?
Clean up the LA River. Allow the water to flow. Don't allow pesticides to go there. Make it a habitat. Allow people to come in and camp. Right. There's ways to actually bring people in instead of push them out that then creates order, in my opinion. But go back to the mortuary. I'm like, that, right. But I thought that
circling back. Back to the mortuary. Here we go.
We get too crazy with these ideas. You guys don't have any acid or mushrooms or anything, so we could have some fun. Just kidding.
What we're saying. Only if we're laying in the mortuary.
You're right. Yeah. No, I don't know if you want to do that in the mortuary, bro.
You're like,
maybe something happening. You like weed. So I was looking for a chapel. Actually, I wanted to buy a chapel because what I was doing here, I want to create a community. My next brand is more about people and people integration, and I wanted. Let's just say I came across some complications with the chapel around zoning. Found a few of them I couldn't do what I wanted to, which is like establish an atelier, which means actually making product, cut and sew, and that sort of thing. Okay.
And they won't let you do it because of zoning?
Because typically religious zoning, there's different classes, but it's a residential, usually it's a residential, or it's commercial. The big ones are commercial, but it's not industrial, and they won't allow you to do retail. Oh. And so I needed to find mixed zoning where I could do all of this.
Is that why
I actually have a project that I've been working on in Oceanside, where it's actually a farm. Because I really believe in farming, and I really believe in getting people's hands dirty. There's another one. Let's say, but I've designed with an amazing guy who's like one of the head architects here in the U.S. A system where it's farm, factory, community, where it's this full rejuvenation.
Wow.
system, a recovery system. We're actually using waste. This is everything's about waste for me. Waste from the different feedstocks, and then becoming new sort of products into the production. So like we worked with these herbalists and these arborists on different techniques to use avocado pits and peels to then dye textile.
Really?
Yeah, so you have the fruit, you're using the fruit, but then you now you have beautiful pinks and taupes and greens and browns depending on how much salt and sort of how you do it.
Really? I didn't know avocado could be. I love avocados, but I didn't know it could be used that way.
Right.
Oh wow.
So anyway, that project's been. I've been working with California on that one because I need some zoning stuff there. But in the meantime, I've been looking for a headquarter for this new brand, which is all about transformation. It's all about nothing is waste. Everything's redeemable. Everything can be resurrected. And so that's why the chapel thing was interesting to me. I love the Jesus story. I just like as a person, I love it, and I love how he fought against authority and all that.
Protester. I always say Jesus is my favorite
political.
protester.
You know, upending the stalls and the money changers. I love that. Anyway, but so I couldn't find a chapel, but then this iconic building, the third building built in San Clemente, came available for sale, and I knew it had a beautiful chapel inside. So it just fell into my lap. And my first dance office was 2 doors down. So I've been around this building forever, maybe my entire life, because I grew up here.
It's just up the hill then, right?
It's down. It's on El Camino on PCH.
Oh, it's actually down on El Camino.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got ocean views. It has this beautiful like penthouse up top, breakwater views up there. It's insane. Yeah, awesome. It's 2 lots. It's 11,000 square feet. Stained glass. I mean, it's dilapidated. You know, they've re-engineered it a bunch of times, and it lost a lot of its like original Ole Hansen beauty, Spanish by the sea type of vibes. So I'm restoring all that, but I developed it because I just thought, like, there's no better place to tell a story of dead stock and resurrection. You know, like there's something really kind of interesting about that, and it works really well from a layout standpoint. What I want to design, which is a very circular sort of model where we have atelier plus we have art gallery that's going to be rotating with some of the best artists around. I'll use those assets in the atelier, and you have retail here with a artist residence / studio up top. They'll bring people in, they'll design the art, we'll create the product, we'll sell it, and it'll be rotating, right? Just like any beautiful art gallery.
Artists are going to love.
And we got some of the we got artists that are in modern art textbooks that are only shown in Paris and New York who are going to be in San Clemente. And so the city loves it because of that. And, you know, the loss of stance, and you know, we had a couple hundred workers here and whatnot. That was a big miss for the city. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one, about this next phase, and I think it's going to be a powerful human redemption story. Not that humans need to be redeemed by any means, but like sort of this idea that like everybody has potential, amazing potential, and the products correlate to dead stock. It's all old materials, lived in, worn in history, but remade through all these technologies that we formed around waterless dyeing and around twisting and texturizing and creating beautiful buttery knits. Designers from buy your stuff. Oh, well, hook them up. Designers from like Balenciaga and Vetements and just like incredible luxury brands, and that's very abnormal for this area. Everything is designed in a way that can be executed in the U.S. So there's this sort of recovery or resurrection around that, around the human component, the individual stories. And I could go on and on about how powerful these stories are. Women that have worked for us for years who were 12 years on the streets, 6 kids taken by the foster system. Now are clean, have their first apartment, gotten 3 kids back. Like there's just, I just don't think anybody is beyond a second chance, you know? And I want to be able to create something that can offer that, and hopefully be able to create more jobs and be able to make this sort of a movement. And so I think this community aspect could be really powerful if we design it correctly to keep people coming back and engaging with us with this product, which is designed to be a lifetime product. I'm even going to repair. So all these and these are staples, beautiful staples. Like I have all my, why wouldn't I take this next level and be a zero waste brand, which is my objective, would be the world's first, where every single part of the production process, I'm taking the scraps and I'm putting it into something else. So I've invented things like plywood replacements. They're freaking gorgeous, like gorgeous textile boards that can be used for sidings of houses, flooring, even a skate ramp. I've designed felts that I'm waterproofing with different substrates, including silicones that can replace polyurethane. Beautiful bags. We're doing all sorts of different skins associated with recycled leathers and whatnot. And yeah, there's just like so much great waste. And what's so rad from the economic side, which I always want to bring in, is like I'm paying 20 cents on the dollar for the waste. Now I refine it, so then it's like maybe 50 cents on the dollar.
Mhm.
Now I have a story.
Where do you get
I have
all
quality.
the stuff
I have factories everywhere. I mean,
from? Everywhere.
I'm New Balance's biggest base layer partner. I do
Okay.
Lululemon. I do a lot of different
Lots of
all these
Lululemon.
factories. So I have a lot of waste.
Okay.
But then in addition to all these other brands that I work with, they have a lot of waste, not only at their factories but also as returns. And so there's plenty of waste management around metals and plastics and all of that.
Mhm.
Textiles are just bottom of the barrel, and all that stuff is just shipped out to,
China.
Ghana
It's
and
going
burned.
on.
Yeah.
In China,
Wow.
they take a bunch.
They don't take any of it back.
China doesn't
China
take
in the last 15 years will take no U.S. trash.
Really? I
Zero.
didn't know that.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
not
thought
for their
all the
trash.
trash was still going to China.
No, but
It's
when I
not.
look at it, I'm like, okay, 60 pounds per American thrown away per year. That's a lot of valuable feedstock.
For sure.
Why can't I just capture that and make something beautiful out of it?
Right, because people make beautiful stuff out of recycled materials all the time.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, yeah.
Exactly.
Even toilet paper is recyclable now.
Totally.
Yeah, like I forget. Is it what is Jessica Alba's brand? She sells
Honest
toilet paper.
Oh,
Yeah.
honest. Yeah.
She sells toilet paper that's recyclable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, and so
I
was
don't know if the toilet paper itself comes from recycled toilet paper, but it
No.
comes from paper.
paper.
It's
It
a
comes from
recycled-
recycled paper. Yeah. Let's be clear, folks.
Yeah, it's just like, dude, I don't know if I can do it as sustainable as I want to be.
Right. Yeah. Well.
Use toilet paper. Yeah.
You're doing what?
I'd like to think I could be that person.
Yeah.
I don't
No,
know.
we're not going down that road.
Yeah. I stick to just the water. Give me the bidet.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm
so-
excited for you, man. I'm
Thank
excited
you.
for all that.
Thank you. Yeah, man. I think
My
When do you
brain's
think
like,
all this will happen? How
Listen,
long is the project going to be?
it's going. The mortuary is going to take a long time. The brand is going to launch later this year.
Okay.
I'll have office space in there, and I'll have the art gallery done. But like, I'll need.
We'd
probably
love to talk to you
year.
again when you get to that
Yeah.
spot. We'd love to
Yeah.
hear about it.
It's
Maybe
gonna be
film
so
some
cool.
of it and show people
Yeah.
like what you're doing,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that sounds super exciting.
Yeah. I've just such an amazing cast of people I'm working with. I have a co-founder who's a mountain climber, who's like one of the best photographers in the world, top 3 outdoor photographers.
Oh, wow.
And he, Everest without oxygen numerous times, new ascents in Nepal, all that, like big,
Really?
legit human and amazing second chance stories. So he was drawn into this. Everybody has a second chance story. You have an amazing second chance story, right? And I think the whole essence of this brand is at the center of this material salvage, this cultural salvage. We're going to be working with craftsmen who are taking salvaged metals and making beautiful sculptures out of it, or furniture, whatever, right? And then I think the most important part is that human story of the salvage, right? That's, I think, the thing that's going to make everybody feel like a part of it, because as privileged as a lot of us are down here, me included, I still got people gave me second chances, and it feels freaking good. It feels so great to be given a second chance. It's the best.
It is the best to get a second chance.
Yeah.
I've had a few of them. So
Yeah.
I definitely think that a lot of people, I don't know if it's geographical, but I do think that there are other places where they're more inclined to give people second chances.
Mhm.
Here, I think it's a little bit harder because I think that's why I think it's so important what you're doing, because I think there's sort of a sentiment that people, they're more worried about the way things look
Mhm.
than the way things feel.
Yep.
When you start looking at the way things look versus how they feel, how does your soul and your heart, and I know this sounds sort of granola of me, but I think that your soul is connected to your health, to your mental well-being. And if you don't address that, you spend all your time in those other places, I think you get less summers.
yeah, get less summers.
You get less time. You get less time on the earth to help people, because I do think there is a master plan, and I do think that they call on people to come on home, when they're not doing something that's going to be collectively helpful to other human beings. I mean,
the sad truth is this: brands that do good don't have staying power. They have a shorter shelf life than those that are engineered for innovation and for premium design, right? Consumers buy on the basis of who's wearing the product or how it's going to make them feel. Right. Confidence is extremely important. We can go down that because that's one of the things I think most people when they get out of the system lack, and it's not something you can just give to somebody. And I think clothes are a very important part of your identity and of sort of creating confidence for yourself. And I get that. Now, I'm not leading with, hey, this is like sustainable. I'm not leading with, hey, this is socially responsible. I'm leading with art, and I'm leading with craft, and I'm leading with design. The thing is, going back to AI, there are a lot of people that are losing jobs, but there aren't very many artisans losing jobs. In fact, the trades are being paid more than ever.
Because it's unique.
Because it's unique, because there's not as many people that can do it. And because, yes, it's taken them time, a lot of time to learn. And a lot of these trades are things that are passed on, at least the arts, let's say. Yep. And so those are the jobs that really can't be replaced. And I think there's going to be more and more money heading that direction. And so when I look at business opportunities, I look at where does money flow, right? I was very lucky in that I started Stance in the height of the recession. Great recession, what they called it, right? Where people didn't have $200 to spend on the True Religion jeans anymore, but they had $10 to buy a pair of socks. And that lipstick effect that comes in, which says, hey,
we have a whole bunch of socks.
And accessories go up in a recession. And so money was flowing that direction. And that's helpful. Fighting market's really hard. You should never try to pick a fight with the market. I believe that money's going into these trades. I want to create the most premium, beautiful, artisanal brand that also is just the best essentials brand that you can wear. And we repair it, we recycle it, we measure it, we have a story to it. It comes back, we can put it in something else, it becomes a freaking table, whatever. But everything is circular.
You're going to be his hero. He's always like, Mom, I'm an artist. I'm a real artist. I won't do any of that AI stuff. Like, he gets mad at me.
These are the people, your son is the type of consumer that we absolutely want.
Oh, yeah. He'll be all about it. He'll be like, it's real. It had a life before. It's real, Mom. It's not some sort of fake.
And because I'm focusing on the most beautiful sort of blanks, I'm then going to be incorporating artists, artisans, designers. And then it becomes a blank for them to be able to sell, to be able to further entrepreneurship. I'm a big believer in being able to essentially pay it forward to other people trying to create businesses, because creating businesses is really tough. And you have all these amazing designers and artists who've found it difficult to pay for, who can pay for a mortgage these days, right? But it's very challenging. Totally.
It's really expensive.
But, I think this is an opportunity for them to be able to take something that's very curated, designed beautifully, and also scarce, but done directly with them, but they can actually sell their own designs on it. So it'll be a collective of designers and artists working together with these various materials, including hard goods and leather goods and soft goods.
I hope you have a big grand opening.
Oh,
because if you do, hopefully we can come by and check it out. I would love to see that. My son will be like, I'm going to send him I'm going to tell him about you, because he'll be like, I'm going to show him my music. And Cole's just that organic dude. He was born like that. Like you said earlier, he just was born like that. He just wants everything to be, and I think it might be something generational too. I think the Gen Zer kids, the ones that are getting close to becoming legal adults, they're the ones that are like, I'm not going to go waste like my son says, I'm not going to go waste my life at some horrible corporate job where people treat me bad and I don't have self-expression. They talk like this, like his friends. He's like, I want to create beautiful things, Mom. And I'm like, at first I
let me pause real quick. So after you were done with treatment, right, do you feel like you appreciated life?
Oh, I appreciate it totally differently.
Yeah, totally different perspective.
Oh, yeah. I want to learn everything I can. Everything I can touch, feel, sense. I wake up every day like that.
And so that's what these kids, I think they've been through so many shocks. I'm not going to call them cancers, but like from COVID and all of these different like crazy things that have been happening globally and affecting everyone more than any other generation in such a condensed period of time.
It's funny you say that.
And I think
true.
that has given them so much more perspective on life. And that to me inspires hope. And I think hope is punk. I think it's hard to be hopeful. You know, I think that we should always try to be that way. And no matter what the fuck somebody is saying, you know, to actually turn it into something. Hey, this could be a good thing. Hey, I think.
Yep.
But like, hey, empathy, right? Allow us to be able to think, you know, about other things, follow our, you know, own paths of what we want to do. And, you know, there's like, you know, freedom that can come from that. Maybe universal basic income finally comes into effect. I don't know. But it's like
universal health care.
What? What's that?
Yeah. Helping people?
What?
Yeah.
People not die. Like,
exactly.
You don't know how much you need your health care.
Right? Yeah.
You don't know. I told Tim, you don't know how much you need your health care till you get sick.
Yeah.
I was always a really healthy person. I didn't need my health care. I was paying for it.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like, oh my gosh, you know. Then all of a sudden I'm like, I have 8 doctors. I have like 5 appointments a week, you know. And that's when I really, because I remember when everybody was talking about universal health care and Bernie Sanders was talking about it and everything. And I was like, oh, that's crazy, you know, at the time. And now I'm like,
They're like, oh.
Because this is what I think about, regardless of where you sit on the political spectrum. If each person was guaranteed health care like they do in England, you could make different choices on what kind of job you had. If a job was really toxic to you, but you had to go to it every single day to pay for the chance that you might need your health care, you wouldn't take that job. You'd find another job that was more fulfilling. You'd be a happier person. You'd be the light for somebody else. Instead, we want to keep everyone in the dark, freaking out. And I don't know why people don't want to give people things like that, like basic things, you know, like people want to be healthy. They want a roof over their head. They want to drink clean water, and they don't want their food saturated with petrochemicals. I'm a thing about that too, because I think our food is all poisoned, you know, by petrochemicals because we have overpopulation and not enough. These are the things I started thinking about.
Yeah, we'll go too long. We'll go too long here on this thing. Probably wrap it soon, but that's another topic for sure.
Yeah,
I'm definitely there's a lot there. We're just, you know, this whole society is designed for consumption. You know, it's the bankers at the top that are fueling the marketing engines that are pushing us to consume more, and so of course we want to pay less in tax. We want to, you know, try to take as much as we can from other people, and it's designed from up there. Right, I think even above left and right, in my opinion.
Yeah,
it's like the bankers' interests that have been the same ones that have been promoting war overseas, same ones that are propping up the Federal Reserve. That's the thing that worries me most about the future of humanity.
Yeah,
this
you're willing to kill massive amounts of people, genocide, massive genocide, and then you turn around and you act like it's okay, and you're like, you killed millions of people. Like, what are you thinking? I mean, Tim knows I get really upset about that. So I'm like, I mean,
as you should.
Yeah, you know, it's like I forget the guy who said he was a minister of during the era where the Nazis everything was going crazy, and he said that famous saying, you know, like when they came for the tax collector, I wasn't a tax collector, so you know I said, oh, not me, you know, and it goes through. And then when they came for the Jews, I said, oh, I'm not a Jew. And then when they came for me, there was nobody left. That saying that, and I'm totally scrambling it, but that particular saying is telling humanity that your brother, your friend, the people you come in contact are all connected to you. Like the Indians say it best. The world is a 360-degree circle, and everybody is connected to everybody, even though there's massive killing, you know, in Pakistan, you know, and you know, or I mean, just all the senseless wars, all the stuff that's going on in the Ukraine, and you know, now in Iran, you know, all these people, we're all connected to them, but nobody wants to recognize that. And that's the biggest problem for humanity. When you stop thinking that because it's thousands of miles away from you, that it's not going to impact you, that's when you've like shut your mind off, I think, to like what's going on in the world. Like Tim will tell you, I get really worked up. I'm like, felt very mad about this. And then Tim has to bring me back down to calm me down just a bit, because I'm like, how sad that people don't see that they don't see that these people, everyone's connected. And which is why the Jesus story is so interesting, because he went around and told people that, you're going to obliterate the Jews, the Romans are going to obliterate the Jews. These are your people. All these people are your people. And that's why I say he's the best political protester that ever walked the earth, because he was trying to make people get along and see the very thing that I'm talking about. So he's not walking the earth right now, but he's working through people like you. He's working through people like me, like Tim, on different levels. I think you're like monumentally ahead of most people. It's rare for me to meet a person with the kind of brain that you have. I'm trying to keep up, just to be clear.
Whatever.
I'm rubbing every synapse in my brain together.
As I go.
I'm all like, wow, this has been like a little bit of a challenge for me.
But I want to stay on that topic, because I think if we were to sit down with those people in Pakistan or in Palestine, we could probably enjoy a beer together.
Absolutely. 100%.
But it's just these people up top, and I wonder at what point are we just gonna
say enough is enough? Like, we're done with this?
Yeah.
Well, I hope it comes. I hope people start to realize there's enough for everybody.
Yeah.
That's a big problem, because I think what it is that people are like, oh, there's not enough. There's not enough for everybody. There is. If you stop screwing it up, and with just the whole thing about how you're taking recycled materials, right? If you keep doing that over and over, we've got everything we need, but for some reason people, they are willing to step on the necks of other people because they think they need more. And I'm like, when is it enough, And certainly killing people, like where did people just decide to park their morality? Like, hello, take it out of your back pocket and start realizing that this will come to you someday. It may take a little while. And if it doesn't come directly to you, it'll come to your children or your children's children, so start setting things in place that are going to make the human cycle better for everybody long term. I think there are people.
It starts right here. This is where it starts.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
These conversations, these fellowshipping with other people who understand that, and then you can grow that and grow that and grow that and grow that. And I think there's probably a bunch of people having this conversation. We just don't know them yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's why we're doing this, because we're hoping eventually we'll get to the point where people start listening, to that, and realize that everyone's invited to the conversation, despite how they may be welded in their own particular position, because I think that's a weird thing that's going on too. That people are so like hungry about their own point of view that they don't listen to other people. Like, Tim's a great listener. I work on it.
But you are a great listener. What are you talking about? You remember most things.
I do remember most things that people say to me. Like, sometimes people are like, you remember that? I go, yeah, and I remember what they were wearing too, which is a weird, freaky thing that I've had since I was a little kid. But generally, I think people need to start listening and realizing that if we learn to share better, which is kind of a grade school concept. But for some reason, once we get older, we're like, I'm not sharing. It's the weirdest thing. You're taught to share and be kind and to treat somebody like you want to be treated. And then as you get older, you realize, wait a second, there's a whole segment of the population who decided that they don't want to remember those core things that you were taught when you were a child. And I know most of those people that are doing those bad things were taught that.
Yeah.
I know some of those people. And I'm like, wow, what happened to you along the Rainbow Bridge?
Right.
Like, did you just decide to put all that? Like, I know people who grew up with me that think some of the atrocities that are happening are okay. Had a little cry with him because somebody that I know and love thinks those atrocities are okay. And I'm like, what the heck? It's extra disappointing to me when it's somebody that I've known for decades. And I'm like, wow, what's wrong with you? You need to check yourself at the door. And I'm willing to say that to people. That's one thing that cancer will do to you. It will make you say things like that. Like, I try to do it in a respectful way, but I'm more inclined to say, what the heck? What happened?
Yeah.
Where did I say, you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with most. My husband loves to say that saying.
Yep.
And so it's like like
True adage.
burned into my brain. So if you choose to hang around 5 good people that are doing good things, you're going to continue to have all these good things happen.
Yeah.
You find the scourge. There are some scourgy people out there. Then you'll find that. You'll find that in your life. But anyway,
I think you said something. I know we got to probably wrap it up. But there was this sort of a tinge of this self-awareness around listening that I think is really important. I think correlates to everything we're talking about. I think spending time to get to know yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's absolutely critical, because it's very easy to say, this person's right or this person's wrong, or check this person at the door or whatever. I think we're all designed with bias. There are racial bias. I took a racial bias test and I realized I'm racist, right? I don't practice racism. I have friends of all different varieties of life. That was a moment for me that gave me so much more empathy for what my friends who are of different nationalities or different races go through.
Did you do racial
bias test?
Well, I'm going to ask you where you took that. I need to take
I took it at the University of the Arts in London.
Oh, really?
They first showed me, afterwards they showed me these public defenders who are largely white, representing largely Black or Middle Eastern individuals that were up for trial. And every single one of them had a racial bias. And these people they'd given their lives to minority people and thought they were, they gave meaning. And yet they went through this test and was holy fuck, sobbing.
Wow.
Right? So I'm just saying, there are, tying back into the banking, there are people who profit off of exploiting racism.
Truly.
There are people who profit off of the racism in these systems. There are people who are profiting off of murdering children in Gaza, right? I think understanding your bias so you can fight those things, because I think a lot of people who are doing those things actually don't think they have a bias. They've somehow rationalized it. Every person, and I've met it with a lot of people who have criminal past, have rationalized certain things. That's what we do. But if you're able to understand yourself thoroughly, to understand what all of your biases are and what drives you and interests you, not only will you live a better life, but I think you're going to better other people's lives around you.
Wow. That I like. That I like. I want to take that test, and my podcaster will be on. My partner will be like, what?
I'll take premises.
I would take it.
I actually was called that in a meeting. I was with all of these rappers in this meeting. I was a little white dude. And they called me the white supremacist, and I was so offended. I was so hurt by this. And then I was like, I'm going to pick up a book. This is before the racial bias. This is what incurred it, or what inspired me to take it, called White Supremacy and Me.
Oh.
And I read this thing, and I was like, holy shit, I think I'm white supremacist. And now admitting this, right? You don't hear that, right? You don't hear that all that often. For somebody who doesn't exhibit any sort of racism, at least I hope I don't.
Right.
But that's the sort of self-awareness, and it's not to create a guilt.
God, I'm wondering.
I'm not trying to create shame. I'm trying to alleviate myself from it. You know what I mean? To fully understand. A lot of this is innate. It's survivalism, tribalism. It's these things that have come up. We freaking identify. Yeah. So a lot of these things are evolutionary. You know what I mean? Yeah. But being able to figure that out is really important. The problem with what's going on over there is largely because there are two different classes of people. It's deeply ingrained in culture.
Yeah.
There are ones that are elite, and there are the ones that aren't.
Right.
That is one of the biggest problems that have existed throughout all time in humanity. Yeah. Also with genders, right? There's a lot of this. So
I know. I know 20,000 a year less than my male counterpart. I was the number one salesperson year after year, and then I'd quit, get another job, and find out, did you make 20 grand more than I did year after year? My whole career. It was crazy. So now I just ask for more. And then I asked for the extra 20. But there are definite biases about, in career and stuff, like how a man needs more because he's providing for his family. And so they automatically pay the man more. It's the weirdest thing. And then you find out after you're long gone from the job, and you're like, yeah, I made this in my last job. And you're sitting with an old coworker. He's like, what? And you're like, well, what'd you make? And then they're like, what? And you're like, you made 20 grand more than I did, and you sucked at your job. That's the thing that would make me mad. I'd be like, oh my God, I smoked you in terms of selling, and you made 20 grand more, than I did. I think they try to close that gap, but I still think it's there unless you're super, out chest playing somebody else,
I'm gonna take this test.
Yeah, I know. Maybe you
Take all the tests.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
People don't
Yeah.
get to know themselves because they're afraid of themselves, or maybe they don't have adequate love for themselves, and that's like a compelling reason, I think, for people to stop their evolution.
I never heard that they did. Then this was at a university that you took that test.
University Arts
University
in
Arts.
London. They do these like special short courses.
Wow, how interesting is that? I'm gonna have to tell my friend Meddy she's
Yeah.
going to London. She'd be really super interested in that.
Yeah.
That's. I wonder if I'm got something.
It's
going
very
on.
quick, fast questions on who did what sort of thing with different profiles. And that's all it is. They, different people pop up, and you're choosing sort of based on.
It's like a Rorschach test, but with pictures of people.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Oh, you know what it is? It's like therapy. When you're in foster care, you get lots of extra therapy.
This is an ink blot.
It's like ink. I know you're saying people though, but they're doing it really fast. Like with ink blot, they're doing it really fast and making you say, "What do you see? What do you see? What do you see? What do you see?"
Got it.
You know,
exactly.
So they're doing it with actual people's faces.
We're trying to get visceral responses.
Yeah. That's what they do. That's what they do to kids in foster care because they automatically assume that you come from trauma. So they want you to see, like, what do you see in this? Like, I saw things like, oh, that looks like a butterfly. They're all
because it looks like murder. It's
yeah.
crime scene, whatever.
Yep.
They're able to figure those things out.
And that's how they do that with younger children to get them to express what's going on in their life. But it sounds like they take that same concept and apply it to adults with pictures.
Thank you for your time, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for this.
Thanks for having me.
Amazing. We definitely need to have you back though, because we have a bunch of other stuff we could probably go down a bunch of rabbit holes.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well,
but I love what you're doing. That's the
thank you
thing. I think that's awesome.
Thank you.
And I want to definitely be a part of that.
Come down to Oceanside.
Yeah,
anytime. Come feel the vibe. Meet some people. Get some free socks.
I love socks
manufacturing.
Yeah. I want some socks with the Statue of Liberty on them. Punchy nice.
What?
Punchy nice.
Did you see those?
I did. I did. I do my research.
Yeah.
She wouldn't let me write a bunch of questions to you, but I was like, look at those socks. I believe in those socks.
That was so fun. And it was very polarizing, which surprised me.
They're really cool socks, though. They're very cool. So I took my son to New York, and I wanted to see the Statue of Liberty. I had only flown over it. I'd never actually been there. And when you see it in person, how absolutely massive it is, the guy's like, oh, we only have tour to go in the feet. And I'm like, well, that seems kind of like a short tour.
Yeah.
And then you get to it and you're like, oh my God, the people are like this big.
Massive.
Yeah, and it's really massive. And so I saw those socks, and since we had recently been there, I was like, look at that. He cares about people.
Thank you.
I noticed that. Yeah, I noticed that. But thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate you doing that.
Absolutely. I had a great time.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to It's Not Black or White. We want to thank our guest, Taylor Shupe, for joining us and telling us about all these amazing things and amazing stories and his amazing journey that is just touching the surface. I am Tim Stevenson, my co-host.
I'm Diane Blakely.
And we will see you on the next pod.
We'll see you there.
Not Black or White. It's Not Black or White with Tim Stevenson and Diane Blakely.